Hey guys, today we are going to do some bird photography with the Nikon Coolpix B500 versus the Nikon D5300.
Please subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell icon to get notified whenever I am on YouTube. Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm Sonika. Today I'm at Vashi Creek and we're gonna do some crazy bird photography here. It's 8 AM in the morning and the photo walk is going to begin. Today I have my Nikon Coolpix B500, 40x optical zoom, maximum focal length 160mm. And I have my Nikon D5300 with a 7300mm lens attached to it. Maybe I'm not doing justice to this camera because if I attach a 600mm lens to it, it will go further and can have more depth. But let's give it a try anyway. I usually don't carry both my cameras for a photo walk. I either take my B500 or my DSLR, but this time I had to. This creek is full of chirpy birds, but shh, no noise.
These birds are indeed so beautiful. Wow. To photograph them, I first set up my tripod because without it, I can get super shaky images and videos as I have to increase my focal length. We'll start with the B500. Settings. In the B500, we can't control the aperture and shutter speed. So let's work with the settings we can control. I set my ISO in the range of 125 to 400. Autofocus area mode center, brightness minus 0.7 because I'm shooting in a bright sunny day. Let's take our D5300 now. Settings. Let me take you through my bird photography settings. I select the aperture priority mode and set my aperture to f6.3. ISO 640. Set my exposure compensation to -1 because it is a bright sunny day. Centered weighted metering. White balance auto. I love flamingos. I can watch them all day long. Now let's go to that side so that we can get a better view of these birds. This is definitely a better view. First, Nikon Coolpix B500. Great job. And now Nikon D5300.
Now that we've clicked our images, it's time to take them home and see what we've really got.
So guys, here we have two images of the same birds at the same distance, but one is clicked with the Nikon Coolpix B500 and the second one is clicked with the Nikon D5300. This image is clicked at the focal length of 160 mm with the B500, and it's a great zoom. I could not fully isolate these birds, but it's great for starting with bird photography. This is my image we clicked with the D5300 at a focal length of 300 mm. Still, I guess it's not as close as the B500 was at 160 mm. That's weird. The camera can go closer if I use a 600 mm lens, but if I place these images side by side, you can notice that the B500 image has a slight greenish tinge to it, and the DSLR image has a slight magenta tint to it. Plus, the DSLR image has more depth and looks sharper because we have clicked it at a high shutter speed of 1/4000 seconds versus 1/500 second shutter speed achieved in the B500. Now let's take a closer look at these images and analyze them in more detail. First, the B500 image. Let's zoom in. We press Ctrl plus equal to zoom in Photoshop. Although this image has been clicked in the least ISO setting, that is ISO 125, it still has a considerable amount of grain. You can see it here. It has a lot of grain, which is called noise. Also, the eye of the bird is not super sharp as it should be. Now we come to our DSLR image. Ctrl plus equal to zoom in, and here also we can see that we have a considerable amount of grain, which we must have because I have clicked this image with the ISO of 640. If I would have clicked this image in the least ISO 100, it would not have had such a lot of grain. So having grain in 640 ISO is completely fine. The eye of the bird is not super sharp, but it is sharper than the B500 image. Now I'm gonna edit these two images for you guys. First, I'll come to my B500 image. I'm gonna crop this image so that I can compose it in a better way. I use the crop tool and just drag it along my image. You select the part that I want to show. A little down, a little towards the left. Yes, that's it. Hit enter to finalize. I want to remove this distraction in the background, so I select the spot healing brush and just paint over that part. But first I'm gonna duplicate my layer so that I don't mess up my original image. If I go wrong, I can go to the original one. I just paint over the distraction, and like magic, it just vanishes. For color adjustments, I have so many options that I can play with, so many of them. I'm going to start with brightness and contrast. I reduce my brightness a bit and add some contrast. Yes. Next, saturation. Increase saturation. Next, color balance. I'm gonna increase the magenta tint here. Like I said, the images look a bit green, and add more blue so that my water looks nice and blue instead of the gray look that it is coming right now. Yes. Now levels. Just play around with these controls so that my image looks richer and fresher. Now curves. Yes. See, it makes a hell lot of difference. Now we come to the noise reduction part. You can see we have a lot of noise in our image which we want to remove. I go to the filter menu, noise, reduce noise. I just increase the strength and reduce color noise. You can see. the noise has reduced significantly. My image is ready. Now we dive into our DSLR image. The best thing about the DSLR image is that I can shoot in RAW. So I get more controls to play with and my image can be edited in a much better way. In the RAW camera filter, I'm gonna go with lens correction first. Enable lens correction. Remove chromatic aberration. Then I'm going to increase the exposure, increase the contrast, reduce highlights, increase shadows so that I get more detail, reduce whites, increase blacks, increase clarity, vibrance and saturation. Now I'm gonna remove all this noise. So for that I go to the detail pane and add my luminance. You can see as I add the luminance, the noise just disappears. It's amazing. That's it. I have reduced the noise here. You can see here that my image is more towards a magenta tint rather than a greenish tint which I get in the B500. This is how my image would have looked in B500, which has a nice greenish tint to it, but a DSLR has a slight magenta tint which the image should have. I'm not going to play with the temperature and tint, it's fine for this image. Next I'm going to crop my image. If I long press the crop button, I can get my crop presets. I can crop them in these ratios. I'm going to go with the 2:3 ratio and just drag it. Little down. Yes, I'm happy with this. Now I can see that my image is a bit tilted, so I can straighten it with the straighten tool. Just draw a straight line. That's it. Enter and my image looks straighter. Now I have a distraction in the background which I can remove with the spot removal tool. I increase the radius and just paint over the distraction and it's gone. Now I'm gonna open my image. I want to remove all this blank part, so I control and click on this image preset in the layer, image, crop. That's it. I can still enhance it a bit, so I'm going to adjust its saturation, increase it a bit, and brightness. You can play with these options as you want, guys. Levels is my favorite. It's super easy and really makes a huge difference in your images. That's it. Group them and so that we can see the difference. Looks more brighter. And that's it.
So guys, this is a comparison between the Nikon Coolpix B500, a point and shoot camera, and the Nikon D5300, a DSLR. Each camera has its own advantages and disadvantages. Every camera is special and has its own mechanism. You need to learn to work with what you have. If you like this video guys, give me a huge thumbs up. Leave a comment down below about what you want to watch next on my channel. Share this video with your friends and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Also turn on the bell icon to be notified whenever I'm on YouTube. Here is my previous video. Please go check it out, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned every Wednesday on my channel for new videos. Bye.